Hello guys, I have Cake here in a new video, and I'm going to be reading Shattered Sky, the prologue. So I'm going to be reading pages 1 through 4, and if I have time, I'll read chapter 1 also. Yeah, I'm just going to read the prologue and chapters. The sun edged its way above the horizon, casting a flood of golden light over the grassy hollow where Aldahart stood. Blinking in the dazzling rays, he glanced around and tried to work out where he was. He couldn't remember ever having visited this hollow before, and with a pang of apprehension seized him as he wondered if he had managed to wander away from ThunderClan territory without realizing it. In the bottom of the hollow was a small pool, the surface glittering in the sunlight. Straggling bushes surrounded it, and when Aldahart looked more closely, he spotted a group of cats huddled in the shelter of the branches. A small silver-gray tabby she-cat lay stretched out in their midst. Aldahart thought he had seen her somewhere before, but the other cats were all strange to him. Hesitantly, Aldahart began padding down the slope into the center of the hollow. "Greetings," he called as he drew nearer to the group of cats. "Can you tell me where?" His voice trailed off as none of the cats reacted to his approach. It was as if they could neither see him nor hear him. A spark of excitement fizzled through Aldahart. "I must be having another vision. Are these the cats of SkyClan? But I don't recognize any of them." Eager to know what his vision had to tell him, Aldahart drew closer to the clump of bushes, noticing that his paw tips did not even bend the grass blades beneath them. As he padded forward, Aldahart could see that the silver-gray tabby had a long gash down her flank. The flesh around it was swollen, and pus oozed from the wound. The tabby was very thin, her pelt dull and almost colorless. Her breathing was shallow, her eyes looked glazy with fever. Once he felt the odd sense of familiarity, and so he really ought to recognize her. "I wish I could help this cat," Aldahart thought. "Cherryville marigold for an affection. Some boy leaves to bring down her fever a little." But in his vision, he was helpless, with no way to communicate with these cats or find the herbs for them. What he could do was watch as one of the tabby's companions dipped a scrap of moss into the pool, held it to her mouth so that she could drink. "Is there anything we can do for you?" one of the other cats asked. Wearily, the silver tabby shook her head. "Maybe Dandelion or Borg," she murmured, "but I don't know where you would find them here. My time is almost up. The affection is too strong. There's nothing any cat can do now." Her eyes closed. One of the cats bent over and gave her ears a gentle lick. Aldahart almost thought that the tabby had died. A moment later, she rose again. "I wish I could be here. I wish I could protect you all." She meowed, her voice shaking, filled with guilt. "We're so far from the gorge, and we haven't been able to find the home that StarClan wishes for us." Suddenly she startled, looking over her clan's heads. "Frecklewish, have you found us at last?" The other cats looked eagerly in the direction she was staring. The disappointment clouded their eyes when they saw no cat there. Aldahart understood that the tabby's fever was causing her to hallucinate. The cat who had been licking her said gently, "She's not here. You know we never found Frecklewish after we were driven from the gorge. I feared that she must be dead." Another cat nodded. "We looked everywhere." Aldahart realized that the dying tabby must be the medicine cat. Pity for her clan clawed at him. They looked so thin and ragged. The soldiers up there struggled hard to find themselves new territory. They've been through so much, he thought, and the losing their medicine cat will only make things more difficult. The cat's meow was on the tip of Aldehart's tongue, and suddenly it felt vitally important for him to remember it. He was distracted when the silver tabby let out a gasp and struggled to sit up. Her eyes widened, and her gaze fixed on something in the horizon. Aldahart wanted to turn and see what it was that she looked, but he wanted to tear his gaze from her face. "They're coming," she whispered, seeming to relax. Then she forced herself to sit upright, her legs trembling and her tail flaring. "You must look for the blood trail in the sky. Follow the blood trail," she rasped out. The effort had taken the last of the tabby's strength. She sank back onto the grass, her eyes fluttering shut, her breath slowed, then stopped. Ecclestone? The cats who surrounded her flung back their heads in some wails of anguish up to the sky. "Ecclestone! Ecclestone!" Alderside's suspicions were confirmed. No wonder she looks familiar. I've seen her in a vision before, and I know her name, so I can spoke of her. She's SkyClan's medicine cat, which means these cats are all that's left of SkyClan. The vision began to fade away into a swirling gray mist, and as he lost sight of the grieving cats, Aldahart felt certain that SkyClan still desperately needed help, more than ever now that they were a medicine cat. Open his eyes in the apprentice's den. Aldahart saw a pale dawn light flickering through the ferns that screened the entrance. He laid still for a moment. His vision has convinced him not only that his clan must help SkyClan, but that SkyClan definitely has something to do with the prophecy. It's time to do something, Aldahart thought. That's not calling him Aldahart. Hauling himself to his paws and shaking moss and bracken off his belt. I'll talk to Brimstar about it as soon as I can. I'm afraid that won't be until after this morning's battle. Cats of all four clans massed as one on the Shadowclad border. All I heard Twigpaw could hear the faint rustling as the paws shifted in the grass and tasted for their mingled scents. "So many warriors," she whispered. "All four clans together." The cats of ThunderClan were clustered around Twigpaw, their gleaming eyes and bristling fur showing that they were ready for battle. Twigpaw let her gaze travel over them. The clan leader Bramaclaw, with his deputy Squirrelfly beside him, lay in Blaze, his muscular rippling under his golden tabby pelt, Cloudtail with his mate, Bright Light and the dotted white wing, Larksong and his little mates, Leafshade and Honeyfur, proudly waiting their first chance to fight for their clan as warriors. Twigpaw pressed close to Ivypaw's side, nervously shredding and unshredding her claws. The dawn light was growing stronger, but shadows still lurked under the trees, making the ShadowClan territory ahead look even darker and scarier than usual. Ivypool dipped her head to speak softly into Twigpaw's ear. After the great storm, Grandpa proposed a new addition to the warrior code. Her eyes shone with pride in her clan leader. He said that though the clans must all remember their separate histories and traditions, in time of dire need all should stand together so that no clan should ever fall. And if there's in time of dire need, I don't know, she added wryly, I don't know what is. Do you really think we can drive out rogues from ShadowClan's territory? Twigpaw asked. She tried to stop her voice from shaking, even though her mouth was dry and her heart pounded so hard that she thought every cat must be able to hear her. Ivypool brushed her tail rolling over Twigpaw's shoulder. Your first battle's always tough, she meowed, Her silver and white pelt was as neat as if she had just groomed it, and her voice was full of confidence. But stick close to me, and I'll look after you. Relief flooded through Twiglet, and she blinked gratefully at her mentor. I'm so happy to be Ivy Pool's apprentice, she thought. She always has my back. Cats of all clan, Brummelstow's voice rang out across the assembled cats. The time has come to take the rogues by surprise and force them out of Shadow Clan's territory. Yeah, Rollinstar agreed. The Shadow Clan's leader voice was quiet but invited no argument. He stood at the front of the crowd, his ginger fur beginning to glow as the light straightened. His mate, Tawny Pelt, had positioned herself close beside her. We must get rid of these rogues once and for all. The future of the clan depends on it. One Star, the leader of Winkler, glared at Rowan Star and gave an aerial lash of his tail. That's an interesting order, he meowed, coming from the cat who allowed the rogues to live on his territory for moons. Until finally most of his clan decided they would rather follow Darktail. Maybe Rowan Star, he added. You should stop You should stop accusing orders to cats who are cleaning up your mess. Ronstar's neck fur bristled, and he drew his lip back in, beginning a snarl. Yes, maybe, he roared bitterly. Winkling cats can mind their own business. You made it our business. You made it our business. One Star snapped. Enough! Misty of Thunderclap thrust herself her way between the two furious warriors, holding herself with Arthery. What hope do we have if we fight among ourselves? Ronstar is right about one thing. The rogues must be driven now. They killed Fur's Pelt. They until Shadow Clan warriors within the clan. Now they've stolen Shadow Clan's territory. It's time to get those fiends once and for all. Get rid of those fields for once and for all. Exactly. Blumstar agreed, his voice lowered. So please, can we stop blaming one another and work together to drive out these rogues? He glanced from Rowan Star to One Star and back. One Star dipped his head in quickness while Rowan Star turned aside, breathing heavily and shaking out his fur. Seeing the leaders fight like that only made Twigpearl more nervous. She felt as if she had a belly full of mice that were chasing one another's tails. And we're going to leave it off there, right before the fight. So we left it off on page 8, which is right before the fight. Okay, now, I hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out, bros! I Love Cake is gone.